Good day, grade 9 learners. Hello, I am Teacher Lester, aka Sir Les, and I welcome you all to another fun and meaningful learning. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for you to be updated of new uploaded videos. So what are we waiting for? Let's get this discussion started. Our discussion for today is under the component of physical education, and this topic is actually discussed in the first quarter of your module. The title of our discussion for today is Sports Officiating. And for us to attain the objectives of today's lesson, let us consider the following learning competencies. The learner performs appropriate first aid for injuries and emergency situations in physical activity and sports setting, such as cramps, sprain, and heat exhaustion. And the learner officiates practice and competitive games. To begin with, let us know the meaning of first aid. What is first aid? First means preceding all others in time or order, while the word aid is to provide with what is useful or necessary. First aid then is an immediate care given to a person who has been injured or suddenly taken ill. It includes self-help and home care if medical assistance is not available or delayed. What are the goals of first aid? First is to alleviate suffering. One of the main objectives is to be able to help to reduce or totally alleviate suffering. Second is to prevent further injury or danger. It also sometimes called prevent the condition from worsening or danger of further injury. And third, prolong life. First aid measures aim to preserve and sustain life, also to save the victim from imminent danger. What are the characteristics of a good first aider? First is being resourceful, makes the best use of things at hand. Second is being gentle. First aider shouldn't inflict pain as much as possible. Third is being observant. As a first aider, you should notice all signs, aware of what is happening and what may happen. Fourth is being tactful, handling the victim with utmost care and in a calm manner. Fifth is being emphatic. It should be comforting. And lastly, you should be respectable. It maintains a professional and caring attitude. There are common injuries encountered by officiating officials and athletes. These are the following: sprains, heat exhaustion, knee injuries, fracture, dislocation, cramps, and strain. Now, let us discuss them one by one. First is sprain. Sprain is caused by torn fibers in a ligament and easily identified through swelling and bruising. Second is heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion is a response to heat characterized by fatigue, weakness, and collapse due to inadequate intake of water to compensate for loss of fluids during sweating. Third is knee injuries. It can result from a blow or twist to the knee, from improper landing after a jump, or from running too hard, too much, or without proper warm-up. Fourth is fracture. Fracture is also an injury of the bone break which is characterized by swelling and pain. When two bones become separated, it is described as being fractured. The fifth one is dislocation. It is the result of two bones that come together to form a joint become separated. Sixth is the cramps. It is a painful involuntary contraction of a muscle or muscles, typically caused by fatigue or strain. The seventh is a twist, pull, or tear of a muscle or tendon called the strain. Home treatment may apply when a person experiences these common injuries. The following measures can be used to treat them. How to treat sprains and strains. First, apply the RICE method or the rest, ice, compression, and elevation method. Second, do not apply heat during the first 2 days as this will only increase swelling. Note that you have to practice personal hygiene protocols at all times. Next, use paracetamol for first day of the injury to reduce pain without increasing bleeding. Thereafter, ibuprofen or aspirin is a good choice. Don't give aspirin to a child younger than 16 years. Next is to apply arnica oil to reduce swelling. Next, remove rings immediately if the injury is to the hand and finger. After 48 hours, start moving the limb gently, but only enough not to cause pain. Lastly, gradually increase the range movement. Let the pain be your guide. It usually heals in about a week. Sprains may take up to 3 weeks to heal. Now, let us have the procedure in giving first aid for fractures. First, apply RICE method. Second, keep the limb in the position you found it and place soft padding around the broken bones. Splint the injury with something rigid, such as rolled up newspaper or magazines, to prevent the bones from shifting. Don't move the broken bones. The splint must be long enough to extend beyond joints above and below the fracture. If there is an open fracture, cover it with a clean gauge pad. Apply pressure to control the bleeding. Don't try to push the bone back into the wound and don't attempt to clean it. Get medical attention immediately. Fractures of the femur and pelvis may cause severe internal bleeding. And lastly, don't give the person anything to eat or drink in case surgery is needed. Next is the first aid for dislocations. Experts advise that you leave the joint alone and treat the area with ice. Use ibuprofen for pain and seek for medical care. And what is the first aid for knee injury? It's very simple. First and last is to apply the price, protection, rest, ice, compression, and elevation. And here is the first aid for the case of heat exhaustion. First, have the victim lie down with his or her feet elevated. Second, keep the victim cool. Third, give him or her electrolyte beverages to sip or make a salted drink. Fourth, monitor the victim for signs of shock. Fifth, if the victim starts having seizures, protect him or her from injury and give first aid for convulsions. And sixth, if the victim loses consciousness, give first aid for unconsciousness. Now, grade 9 learners, let us discuss about sports officiating. What is sports officiating? Sports officiating is a system of managing sports, specifically on implementing the game rules and keeping order in the duration of the game. What are the qualities of an officiating official? The role of an official is very crucial in a sporting endeavor. He defines the success or failure of a certain physical activity. It is therefore necessary for an aspiring officiating official to possess a number of qualities for him to meet the goal of having a satisfying, complaint-free, impartial, and successful game. The following are some of the qualities to be considered. First, physical qualities. Second, emotional qualities. Third, mental qualities. And fourth, social qualities. First, physical qualities. These qualities refer to the physical attributes of an officiating official. Since an officiating official needs to catch up with every detail of what the athletes or players do on court, he needs to have a high level of fitness to be able to perform his job. To determine his level of fitness, he or she has to consider the following. Physical fitness. As has been defined in preceding modules in physical education, physical fitness is the capacity of an individual to perform his or her daily tasks without undue fatigue and still has extra energy for recreation and emergencies. Physical fitness is not achieved overnight. One must work on with elevating his own level of fitness if he or she has to perform better in his chosen field of endeavor. Several ways to determine one's fitness which are basis in improving it include body mass index, PMHR and THR or personal maximal heart rate and training heart rate, fitness or exercise program, and nutrition and weight management. Next, emotional qualities. These qualities refer to the emotional readiness of an officiating official to perform his or her role in a game. He or she might have mastered all the rules and possesses a high level of fitness, but if emotional attributes don't warrant him or her to perform the duties and responsibilities of an officiating official, failure is expected. Emotional attributes that an officiating official should possess include the confidence. It is having belief in oneself. Confidence can be situation specific, but practicing it through actual game immersions and observations of game officiating activities can help improve it. Next, mental qualities. Just as physical and emotional qualities are essential, mental characteristics are also equally necessary. Mental toughness is the term used to refer to all the qualities pertaining to one's mental preparations in officiating a game. To be mentally tough requires one to stay focused, regulate one's performance, ability to handle pressure, awareness and control of thoughts and feelings, and one's command and control of the environment. This can be achieved by having a thorough knowledge on the rules of the game, alertness, vigilance, which result to timely, decisive, honest, and impartial judgment. Decisiveness results to integrity of the result of the game, leading to a satisfying result and acceptance of success and failure for both competing teams or players. Lastly, social qualities. Social qualities refer to the ability to deal with others and any given situation. Complaints are inevitable in a game. It is the ability of an officiating official to settle disputes without sacrificing the integrity of a game and the officiating team. To develop such qualities requires practice, just as the emotional qualities do. Surrounding oneself with people who make wise decisions, especially in officiating endeavors, might help one improve his or her decision-making skills. Now, let's proceed to hand signals. Hand signals are gestures used by sports officials to communicate to the players and audiences, specifically game-related events like fouls, points, and the like. Here are the basketball referee hand signals. We have the jump ball, charging, traveling, technical foul, 3-second violation, points scored 1 or 2 fingers, personal foul, 3-point shot, and blocking. Next are the volleyball hand signals. Point, line violation, illegal hit, replay or reserve, over the net, net foul or not serve, legal back row attack, illegal attack of serve or back row attack, end of game, ball touch, 4 hits, double hit, ball lane in bounds, out of bounds or antenna violation, begin serve, for line judge signals, in bounds, out of bounds or antenna violation, touch, line violation, and lastly, view of play blocked. And our last concern for today's discussion is the schedule of games and officiating. This is the formula for single elimination. G is equal to N minus 1, where G is the number of games and N is the number of teams. Example, 6 participating teams. G is equal to 6 minus 1, therefore G is equal to 5 games. Here is the formula for double elimination. G is equal to open parenthesis N minus 1 close parenthesis 2, where G is the number of games and N stands for the number of teams. Example, 6 participating teams. G is equal to open parenthesis 6 minus 1 close parenthesis 2. G is equal to 5 now times 2, and we get 10. So the number of games for double elimination is 10. And the last one is the formula in getting pi. Pi is equal to p squared minus n, where p is the least power of 2 higher than n. Fixed values are 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and so on. 8 is being substituted to p squared since it is higher than n, which is 6. So 8 minus 6 is equal to 2. The pi for 6 participating teams is 2. So those are the ways on how to compute the number of games and buys in scheduling of games and officiating. Grade 9 learners, this is now your performance task. Choose only one between these two activities. Make not more than 1 minute video performing the hand signals in either volleyball, basketball, or football, or the appropriate first aid for injuries and emergency situations in physical activity and sports settings. Example is giving first aid for sprain. If not video, you can present your output through pictures. Submit your output to your teacher through Google Classroom. Thank you so much grade 9 learners for watching this video. I hope that you have learned a lot from first aid integrated to sports officiating. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for you to be updated of new uploaded videos. This is Teacher Lester saying, let's dream and make it happen. Till next time, grade 9 learners. See you all on my next video. Goodbye!